Facebook.com/Casey in the morning. 93.7 KCLB rocks.
Joining us this morning, you know him from his days on SNL, where he did the most awesome Joe Pesci on the planet, also Goat Boy. He's got a brand new book, I'm Not High, but I've got a lot of crazy stories about life as Goat Boy, a dad, and a spiritual warrior. Jim Breuer, good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing spectacular. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm excited about this. This is out of everything I've done, this is the thing I'm most proudest of.
You're talking about being on this show, or are you talking about the book?
Here it is. It's out.
Wow, I knew people were excited to come on this program.
You had no idea.
I had no idea it was that exciting. I've been meaning to talk to you for a while about this because I love Goat Boy, as does most of America.
Yes.
Creeps you out and scares you.
Well, here's what creeps me out and scares me. I think it's unbelievable. I think you do a great job with it.
Yeah.
But then I think to myself, how in the hell does someone actually come up with something like that?
I'll tell you exactly how it came up.
Please.
When I was, by fluke, there's no thought process to this, and that's the scary part. Well, while everyone else is trying to figure out all these amazing characters and what to do with them, I literally went, this is how I pitched Goat Boy.
Okay.
Goat Boy was just a guy who had Tourette's. That's all he was. And when you break down the character, that's really all it is. So I went to him, and they said, hey, you got any characters? I said, yeah, I want to do this guy, but he's got Tourette's. But he doesn't curse or nothing, so he blurts like a goat. And I'm like, what? What do you mean? I go, check it out. He loves to sing, and he loves to go in the bar. So he goes in the bar, he's like, hey, can I, let me get a couple Budweisers, and we're going to start off with a couple shots. And then at the end of the night, he's got the karaoke. He's like, start spreading the news. And they just stared at me like a lunatic. Never heard from them again. Never brought up Goat Boy again until about 3 months later. One of the writers came up to me, and he goes, hey, Breuer, I've been thinking about that character that does the goat. I said, the guy with Tourette's. Yeah. Well, I like that he sings. How about he just sings 80s songs, and he's actually part goat, and he hosts his own show on VH1 because they always have these dumb shows.
Yeah.
So he's got his own VH1 show, and he's stuck in the 80s. And I swear to you, I went, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard in my life. And if you were to tell, and he goes, well, just try it. I said, you can write it up, but it's not going to go. It's too far out there. Now, if you told me at that moment, 14 years later, I'd be driving around. Yesterday, I was in Denver, Colorado, and some guy would pull up on the side of me with tinted windows and the music blaring, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get middle of a drive-by here or whatever. And they beep the horn. I look over, and then his window slowly comes down. It's packed with all these teenagers, and they got their hats backwards and sideways, and they all just point to me and they go, hey, man. I said, you're crazy.
Well,
here it is, man. I'm an action figure.
We got Jim Breuer join us on the line this morning. The book I'm Not High is out there for you right now. Now, one other Saturday Night Live character, and I would say you're involved in one of the top 3 Saturday Night Live sketches of all time because you were doing Joe Pesci on the Joe Pesci Show for a number of years.
Yep.
And then magically, out of nowhere, the actual Joe Pesci shows. I think we have a clip of that. Can we roll that?
Well, that's our show for tonight. I'm Joe Pesci. This is Robert De Niro, and I hope you... You know, week after week, we watch you guys from our living room, supposedly impersonating Joe Pesci and Robert De Niro, when in fact you are doing caricatures of characters we have played in Goodfellas and Raging Bull.
When Jim, when that whole thing came together, is for you, is that something that terrifies you, or is that something that you think is a cool thing?
Well, it's all in the book. However, it was beyond awesome and overwhelming, and I knew it was going to be a moment in history. People will remember that show forever. De Niro never did live television, ever. However, before I went down, Pesci wanted to personally talk to me. So I thought it was to talk about the sketch and all that. So my heart's pounding. I'm overwhelmed with excitement. He comes in the building. He goes in a room, and he sends someone to come get me. I come to the room. My heart's beating a million miles an hour. I walk in the room. There's my idol sitting there. He's well-dressed. He's smoking a cigar, sunglasses, pinky ring, striped suit. I walk in like a little schoolgirl. Oh, my God, I'm so excited you're here. This is going to be one of the greatest sketches ever. And while I'm talking, he goes, hold on a second. First of all, are you going to thank me for giving you a career? And then, I giggled, and then I sat down, and then he goes, let me ask you something. Are you Italian? I said, no, sir, I'm not Italian, but I grew up in Long Island with all these Italians. I didn't ask you where you grew up. I asked you if you were Italian. And now that you say you're not Italian, I'm very offended by the racial slurs that you use towards the Italian community. And this conversation went in a threatening manner for almost 10 minutes before I was on the verge of a breakdown. And I stood up, like almost ready to cry, and I said, I will never do this sketch again. I never knew it offended you, and I swear to you, I will quit Saturday Night Live.
Oh, my God.
And he said, relax, I'm busting your chops. Sit down. We're going to have fun doing this. I thought. And by the way, the goat thing, it creeps me out. I don't get it. I don't get it. And he's scared to death out of me. But it turned out to be, and still is, like you said, probably one of the best time sketches ever. Top 10 at least.
I'm going top 3. We got Jim Breuer joining us on the line this morning. The book, I'm Not High, out there in stores right now. We got a couple minutes left with you. And I do have to say, I know things have changed a lot for you. You got a family now. You're on the road. You're taking the family out. I find it a little odd the dude from Half Baked is out on the road with the family throughout the year. How's it been for you as, time has gone on? Now you're out. You're doing the family man thing.
Yeah.
How is it for you traveling on the road with the family?
The travel is the best thing we ever did.
Really?
I love my kids. Keep me alive. They're full of energy. They're full of life. They're still pure. Kids are pure. They're honest. They love playing. They look at you as if you're their guiding light. And being on the road is not fun when they're not around. It's not fun at all. Kids don't care how much money you make. They don't care how powerful you are. They don't care if you're the head of a CEO. All they care about is if you're there. And being able to go on the road, bringing the wife and the kids is by far the greatest thing we ever started doing. And it keeps our family closer, and I wouldn't trade that situation in for a Will Ferrell career or anyone else in the top entertainment world. I would never, ever, ever do it. And that's why I even praise people like Dave Chappelle, who walked away from $50 million to be with his 2 little boys and family and just take it down a level.
Well, I'm glad you're doing well, and I wish you all the success out there with the book. It's out in stores right now.
Oh, it's going to do well.
It's going to do amazingly well. Top 10 of all time.
That's right.
Jim Breuer.
Out of it's really good.
Jim Breuer, we appreciate you dropping by this morning, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.